You're welcome back, man. Back like a little song. Go ahead, like it up. Go ahead, like it up. Relax. Just take it easy, man. Get you a snack. Pat yourself on the back, and I got a nice reaction for you now. Oh, relax. Get yourself a snack. Watch your boy react. I know you like that. Hold on. Go ahead, like it up. So we got my boy, a trans man, transsexual, transvestite, he, she, whatever you want to call it, trying to prove his point to a street preacher who know the truth. Holy Ghost filled man. I ain't gonna do too much yapping. Let's jump right into it, man.
There's a lot of not male stuff about them.
But we just said, though, right, that with intersex and even the thing you're bringing up, you're saying, what if there's one person? We can't say that now because that one person, we have to redefine that collectively, quantitatively, it's going to benefit more people when we know it's just not the case.
If we
That boy
believe
stay
in
using some big
absolute
words.
truth,
Sure.
the exception absolutely destroys the rule.
But there's no exception. There is no person with both fully male, fully female. They have working both. They can self-impregnate. It doesn't exist.
Imagine if it did. Weird world. It's already weird enough. Self-impregnation.
David, nice to meet you.
Crazy
What
world.
you agree with, what you disagree. I don't have an answer for everything, but I will try my best.
So,
I heard that.
more or less agree with Jesus saves and loves.
Okay.
Why would you disagree with it? I would disagree with atheism fools you, but as a technicality, because I'm not an atheist.
Okay.
So I wouldn't say it as strongly as that, but
Okay.
mainly I would say, only male and female is my main.
Okay.
These two I don't
Okay.
agree with.
Okay. Yeah, we can chat about it if you like. We try to be as civil as we can. I'm not here for beef or anything. Go for it. What's your kind of?
Keep it respectful. You feel
So
me?
I would say, one, to say there's only male and female, we have to have some kind of definition of what male and female is. If we go with,
Do you got a penis? Do you got a vagina? That's it. Ain't nothing else that needs to be said, my boy. But let's hear you out. Let's hear my boy out. Even though it ain't nothing to be heard, but let's see what you guys say.
XX is female, XY is male, right?
Are we arguing about transgenderism? I'm just kind of be on the same page, or?
Let's say both. Let's
Okay,
say both.
Sure.
So we're saying XX is female, right? And there's only male and female. What about a person who has both
Intersex, right? The intersex are like, what about the
and chimera? So a chimera is when you have,
both, right?
well, it's so in there's
Chimera.
basically fraternal twins, but in the earliest stage of pregnancy, they fuse and they form one person,
Okay.
right? So
What?
there's only one baby born, but there's two different distinct genetic.
Okay.
Chimera.
Haven't heard of this, but okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
So there's instances.
Very rare in humans. Only 100 documented cases in medical literature, meaning most people who are chimeras go undetected. It typically occurs when two separate embryos fuse early in development and creates a single individual with distinct sets of DNA. Two distinct sets of DNA. All right, shoot, teaching me something. Oh, what you talking about?
One is XY, one is XX.
Okay.
So some organs will be XX, some organs will be
Okay,
XY. What do we call that?
Sure.
If not,
I would
somewhere in between?
say just for intersex goes, whether you want to call that or anything. Intersex, first and foremost, extremely rare. It's 0.018%. I know some doctors, physicians will say 1.7, but that's been debunked because most physicians don't define Klinefelter's or Turner syndrome as intersex because,
But why don't they?
well, the reason they wouldn't is because, from what I'm aware, most physicians, when they have both genitalia, so we're talking maybe like small testes and then also a uterus, that would be intersex, where some physicians would say just because he has formation of a slight formation of breasts, or maybe he looks a bit more feminine, that wouldn't be considered intersex. Couldn't tell you why, but I can give you the MedPub. It's 0.018. If you want to go 1.7, okay. But what I would say in that is it's a genetic abnormality. You know, in science, just as an example, even though it does happen, we teach that humans are born with 10 fingers, right? Now, are some born with 9 fingers? Yes, but we teach that there's 10 because the exception doesn't make the rule. So do intersex people exist? Absolutely. I would say, though, that they're still either XX, or sorry, they have the Y, they're male or female. Now, in that case, with a little bit of both, do you know that if they fuse to the male or the female, like there's either going to be a Y chromosome or there's not. So in that perspective, even though they're intersex, they're still male or female, even though they have both gonads.
So
Just because I haven't found someone who can self-impregnate themselves is what I'm saying. And from what I'm aware, it
Never
doesn't
will.
happen now. Maybe it could, but I don't believe it does, where they
There's-
produce both gonads and both gametes.
I guess I would say on the, exception that doesn't break the rule.
Okay.
Let's say there is only one person
Okay.
to have ever existed that is neither male nor female, or both, or whatever.
Okay.
That is one person that exists. We can't say there's only male and female anymore.
But I would say
Had
that
a
that
little
doesn't
robot
exist.
delivering food.
They're still either male or female. They have the Y chromosome or they.
The human replacement. Crazy work, man. It's getting crazy. Hey, I wonder what city they in. Hold on. Let me.
They're still male or female, even though they
I'm
have
paying attention, but Pete.
both gonads.
So,
Just because I haven't found someone who can self-impregnate themselves is what I'm saying. And from what I'm aware, it doesn't happen now. Maybe it could, but I don't believe it does, where they
There's-
produce both
I ain't
gonads
see
and
that
both
in my
gametes.
city yet.
I guess I would say on
The
the,
robot delivering food.
exception that doesn't break the rule.
Okay.
Let's say there is only one person
Okay.
to have ever existed that is neither male nor female, or both, or whatever.
Okay.
That is one person that exists. We can't say there's
There
only.
you go, right there. Bottom left corner, right by Mr. Trans Man. That boy on the clock delivering food. It's gonna get more and more. Let's get back to it though.
Male and female.
Yeah.
anymore.
Focus.
But I would say that doesn't
Lock in.
exist. They're still either male or female. They have the Y chromosome or they don't.
I get.
But I hear. I'll
But
give
they
you
do
a
have-
hypothetical.
They do. So
They do have both of like the small gonads, yes, but only one is going to, as puberty goes on, be able to work. Like a person cannot self-impregnate themselves. They're not going to have working fallopian tubes and uterus, and then also sperm. One or the other is going to work,
that's true.
and that's kind of what I mean by that.
I guess.
Have a conversation
okay,
over.
let's say you have neither. You were born with nothing.
You're sexless.
Yes.
Okay.
That's
or
that's
nothing
insane.
functioning. Right.
Okay, but they still have their body has the the pathway to do so. Because you're right, I get this argument where they'll say, yeah, but some woman can't get pregnant, or some man can't produce sperm, but their body is still designed that way to have that pathway to do so. That's what I would say with that.
If you have the beginnings, so to speak,
Okay.
of both testes and
Okay.
then would you not say their body can't do it, but it's designed to do so? It should.
Okay,
But
good, great question.
it's not able to do either.
Sure,
But it should,
Sure,
quote unquote,
sure.
should be able to do
Sure.
both.
I would say as puberty goes on, there is a predominant path that overtakes the other. I have yet to find there are split 50-50 where they're both gonads develop the exact same. So in that case, no, I would say it's one or the other, definitively. Even though in the beginning it's ambiguous, I agree with you. I'm not disacknowledging that.
I guess I would say from a scientific standpoint,
Sure.
it's much more useful
Okay.
to not have to categorize everyone into one of two boxes, because
Well, that's
they
what it
don't
is.
Fit. Like,
but
there's
we-
a lot of not
but-
male stuff about them.
But we just said, though, right, that with intersex and even the thing you're bringing up, you're saying, what if there's one person? We can't say that now because that one person, we have to redefine that collectively, quantitatively, it's going to benefit more people when we know it's just not the case. Like, that's what I mean by the exception doesn't make the rule.
If we believe in absolute truth,
Sure.
the exception absolutely destroys the rule.
But there's no exception. There is no person with both fully male, fully female. They have working both. They can self-impregnate. It doesn't exist.
There is no person that can self-impregnate. There is, however, now it's incredibly rare. However, there is such a thing as a person who can both produce egg and sperm.
True hermaphrodites.
What is going on, guys? How are you doing? I hope you're enjoying the video thus far. I wanted to quickly
Is
pop
that a
in and
real
let you guys
thing?
know.
No.
Lately, I've had a lot of you guys ask if I offer coaching. The answer to that, guys, is yes. I coach you guys to be able to be on the streets and defend the faith, whether that's against Islam, LGBTQ, abortion, atheism, the list goes on. Spots are open below, guys. First come, first serve. And finally, guys, for any of you who do feel led to support the ministry through gifting below, it helps tremendously. This is self-funded by you guys to allow myself to further spread the gospel. Thank you so much. Back to the video.
Ovo-testicular syndrome.
So they can both donate an egg and donate sperm, which theoretically could be combined together. Now they need a surrogate. I mean,
Yeah, that's fine, man. From what I'm aware, in that instance, most of them are completely infertile. They're not going to work. Now, if they could... work. Like, I don't believe those eggs could actually be fertile and produce. I don't believe the sperm works. From what I'm aware with ovotesticular syndrome, they're infertile, and that's why we actually need to know whether they're male or female to help further produce them and give them the right hormones. Like, if they do, let's say they are male, then they're going to need testosterone. Otherwise, a lot of times their growth is stunted. Sometimes their heart fails. It doesn't work, right? So I think that actually kind of proves my point, where it's like they need one or the other hormone to, like, there's no like middle hormone. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like you're going to be a man, you're going to develop, or a woman.
I would.
Point
But
blank
do you
period.
also see, and these are great points, and I'm willing to answer these, but do you see how, like, we are going to, like, the most extreme? Usually speaking, I have to reach the 99.9%, but I'm not disacknowledging what you're saying. And let me just give you my argument, and then we'll keep going, right? My argument, and the reason I do that is because I do believe for the vast majority of trans people, which, by the way, intersex do not consider themselves trans. The vast majority of intersex...
no, they're not.
Right, okay, so we got common ground there. I usually hear that argument. People say, but intersex, they're trans. No, they don't. From what I know, they do not... No one's born intersex, or very few, and they say, yes, you know, I wanted this to happen. This is a genetic abnormality. Just like with 10 fingers, there's 9 fingers. We should still love these people and treat them. But the biggest thing that I'm after is people who are born XX or XY, and they're beginning to change their gender into something else, which then affects washrooms, sports, policies. I live in Canada. There's Bill C-16, where it's not like America here. That's the chunk that I'm after.
Yeah, I mean.
But you're bringing up this, which is fine. I have no problem with it. But that's usually the people I speak to about that.
Yes.
Yeah.
To me,
Yeah.
transgender is obviously different from intersex.
Okay.
Right? That's
Okay.
probably affects a lot more people. That's a lot
Yes.
bigger deal to me.
Yeah.
I think on the strictly male and female, that's kind of, I guess.
We would agree to disagree there.
Yeah, we agree to disagree
We'll
there.
agree to disagree,
It's
okay.
maybe not the biggest deal in the world,
Okay,
but as
okay.
an absolute truth claim, we disagree.
Okay, and that's fine. I respect that.
So on trans people, I would say, I mean, it's quite clearly a thing.
It is a thing, yes.
Yeah.
Like, it's, yeah.
One which we know pretty well that there's no making, that conversion therapy doesn't work.
I'm not for conversion therapy.
Yeah, yeah.
I wouldn't be for that.
And we know pretty clear that we can greatly improve outcomes for trans people.
Okay, yes.
By-
I would agree with you on that.
Yeah.
I think the means in which we do it is different, but I agree their suicide rate is the highest out of any suicide rate, any person by a long shot. Higher than slavery, higher than Jewish people in the Holocaust.
And it.
Wow, that's crazy.
A lot of those statistics are the ones who have contemplated suicide.
That's just more proof that you're sick, my boy. You over here trying to change your gender, thinking it's gonna help you out. But it's a trick of the enemy. It's just a trick, dog, to confuse your mind. Your mind already confused. So you call yourself chopping off your meat, trying to turn it into a JJ. And I don't know what they do to get a fake penis. I don't know what they do. But it's just a trick, bro. I can't believe they got the highest suicide rate. That's wild. But it makes sense, though. It made perfect sense.
They've suicide
That's what
ideation
devil
or-
wants you to
yeah,
do.
I'm aware. No,
He wants you to off yourself. He wants you to off other people. Because he come to kill, steal. Come on, nah. And destroy, my boy. He loves it. He loves the destruction.
oh, dude, that's even higher. Yeah, I'm talking about suicide, like, attempt.
Yeah. So
It's about 46%.
that's
80, 90.
contemplation. That's contemplation.
No. I've heard it's about 90% contemplation. Actual attempt is around 40%. I've got that on MedHub on quite a few sources.
Okay, but
All we say is it's
Pro
a lot
guy,
higher
his
than, like,
research
the
game
person who does
on
not have
point.
it.
I ain't gonna
Right.
lie.
yeah,
Sure.
it's
high, man, and I'm confused, and I just, as a Christian,
Bro on the right is a walking encyclopedia. He must do stupid research. I ain't gonna lie. Like, a lot of research. Because, boy, he be having all these different statistics and probabilities. And I'm like, dang, bro, how you know all that?
I don't believe that transitioning or gender affirming care is the solution, and we know that because statistically their suicide does not go down.
yes, it does.
You got to show me where it goes.
Their historical contemplation of suicide doesn't go away.
Okay.
If I've thought about suicide,
Yeah.
the fact that I'm perfectly mentally healthy now doesn't mean I've still thought about suicide once
Okay,
in my life.
okay.
So that rate doesn't go down. But
I feel like everybody has.
Like, let's say you think of suicide on a spectrum 100 times a day. I believe if you're going that far, that should at least decrease to a substantial amount.
well,
Would you? Because from the studies I've seen, whether thought or action, it's more or less the exact same, and it's still astronomically higher than the average person.
I mean, all the studies I've seen have seen that
Any-
current suicidal ideation and current action drop significantly when they're given gender-affirming care.
And where I'll agree with you is, because I do agree with you, the studies that I've seen, all of those are short-term studies. And in the short term, I'll agree with you. If I take something or do something for myself, I'm going to be a lot happier. For a time being, I'm not going to have these thoughts. But the studies that I've seen in Sweden over 20, 30 years, they're not conducive whatsoever.
I mean,
In fact, the majority of them grow out of it. If you leave them alone, around 90% of the individuals dealing with gender dysphoria grow out of that. Puberty is what allows them to do so. I just don't believe as a Christian we should immediately be stunting that process, putting them immediately on Lupron or gender-affirming care, which does not increase the suicide rate whatsoever.
I mean,
Just statistically.
I guess if we're talking about minors, I guess that's different, you know, but
Like, where do you believe this ideation is coming from? Because I believe personally, we're not talking about intersex here. I believe it's a social contagion. And we know this because from 2017 to 2021, the numbers have tripled in gender dysphoria, in hormones, cross-sex, and Lupron. So it's
I mean,
growing.
the numbers of people who are left-handed grew significantly when being left-handed wasn't considered, you know, something that we hated as a society. A lot of people are very willing to be open about it when suddenly it's not burn you at the stake time. So that's why I would say that there's a lot more of them.
But that amount, triple the amount? I mean, each year LGBTQ from our grandparents to now is doubled. I don't believe that's biological. I do not believe it's biological. I believe it's a social contagion. 1/5 of Gen Z.
I remember we used to roast people just for being gay. Now it's wrong for saying that. You know how long me and my cousins used to grow up saying, bro, you gay, man. Man, you gay. Never thought we would be in this type of society we in now. So wild, boy.
Z identifies LGBTQ. If 1/5 of the population stopped creating, our world would cease to function. If 1/5 of the economy, everything just went blank, I don't believe it's biological. I believe the stats show that it's a social contagion because it's cool. Children are impressionable. They want to see it on TikTok. They want to see it on the movies. And I believe that's why it's being pushed so hard with Drag Queen Story Hour, all these things to the kids to convert them.
Crazy work.
Right? I don't believe they're born that way. No, I believe they're confused.
Never born that way.
I would disagree.
That's fine.
I would say they're born that way.
Okay.
Every study I've read seems to suggest that.
You gotta
Social.
show me those studies.
Because
I haven't
I don't
seen
have
those
them
studies.
on me.
That's okay.
I should probably go and study for my finals in a minute. But
And I appreciate you being very respectful. By
yeah, I would
Bro
say.
trying so hard
I
to
mean,
fight this.
I just think there are better solutions to that. I think as a Christian we should love these individuals. I would never.
He know he telling them the truth, but he just, he trying so hard to duck and weave and fight it. Like, bro, don't fight the truth, bro. It's right there in black and white, my boy. It's in black and white. It's simple. Male, female. Male supposed to be with the female. Female supposed to be with the male. Whole stick goes inside. Boom. Pregnate it. Create more life. It's just so logical, bro. It makes perfect sense, man. Like, come on, man.
want to hurt a trans
Making it harder than what it is.
person. I'm never for that. But the stats don't show that their life gets better. The suicide stays the same. Children, the majority of them are going to outgrow it. I don't think we should tamper with that. If you're over 18, do whatever you want. It's your
Okay,
life.
so
I'm
that's
more so
very
for the
big.
I'm more so for the children.
I would say, you know,
You don't know what he would say. Man, appreciate y'all, man. Let me know what y'all think about that little argument right there. Please drop the comments, please. I'm here for it, man. Like up the video, man. Keep God first. I'm trying to let y'all know, man. Time ticking. You better get ready. I'm ready, man. I'm ready. I'm doing my part. Spreading the name of God, you feel me? Living my life how I need to live it. Much love to y'all. Oh yeah, more on the way. Like up the video. Thank you.